Okay, okay. Thank you,
from
sir.
the Sawantwadi, please.
Okay, okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. R.P. Chavan, AGM College, Karad. I welcome you all for the second session of this online faculty development program. I feel immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Nivas Manohar Desai as Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, SPK College, Sawantwadi, who is a research person of this session and will enlighten us on the topic entitled Identification of Journal and Structuring of Research Papers. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Dr. Desai has a 31 publication in various reputed national international journals. He has authored one book. He has, besides, he has edited 3 books and contributed 9 chapters in various books. He has got 10 years of teaching experience and 13 years of research experience in the field of food science, food nanoscience, technology, and biotechnology. For me, what I feel most important that all the participants should know is his innovation, namely development of value-added 6 new coffee products, solvent-free eco technology for the extraction of chlorogenic acid from green coffee, trademark on joint pain relief oil. He has a, he has been awarded as a fellow of Association of Plant Science Research 2020, received Research Excellence Award in 2020, Young Scientist Award in Engineering, Science and Medicine 2019, Best Young Scientist Award in 2018. There are many intellectual achievements he has on his credit, but we have time limit, and I know you people are eagerly waiting to hear him. Therefore, I request to Dr. Desai sir to proceed with his deliberation.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Thank you for this introduction, sir. And it's a pleasure to be a part of this FDP. I'm very much thankful to the organizers also. And let me
कार्यक्रम
share
झालाय
my
बोला पटकन तुमचं काय
screen.
झालं.
Uh, yeah. Uh, okay, is it visible, my screen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So very good morning to all of you. My today's task is effective research article writing and identification of a suitable journal. So everyone's dream of every researcher's dream to publish his data in a scientific, well-reputed and referred scientific journal, and every research scholar is behind of that. So they have a dream to be published his article in a reputed journal so that it will be reached to the national and international community that are most reputed in his field. But when it comes to the effective research paper writing, the basic question is from where to start and from where to stop. So these are the two questions because starting is important. If you have idea, we have to write in a suitable manner that it can be easily accepted in a reputed and highly referred journal. So in that case, the most important thing is when it comes to the writing of an article, the first question comes, why do you need to learn how to write a research paper? So writing a research paper is a skill. It is a skill to reach to the people. Maybe it is from your community or maybe it is from research, the people those who are not related to research community. But your idea must be reached to the person, those who are interested in the field. Even nowadays in the colleges also, the persons may be asked to write many research papers. And if you need to learn what goes into writing a successful paper. So as we know, right now, UGC also has become mandatory that we have to prepare some of the data in a UGC listed journal First, it came as a UGC listed journal. Now it came to the UGC care list journal. But if you ask me where you want to publish your data, research data, I will straightforward tell you that go for the highly reputed journal. For example, such big bulls are there in this scientific science and technology field, like Elsevier, Science Direct, Tyler and Francis, and even Village International. So, if you have a strong data and if you want to publish, go for that. Because this entire PowerPoint presentation, it will throw a light on a step-by-step direction to how most high school and college teachers, professors expect you to write a basic research paper. So this entire PowerPoint presentation, I have divided into three different sessions. First, we'll discuss what are the research articles. Second, how to structure the research article. And third, how to identify the journals for your research data. So the learning target of this entire presentation is how to choose a topic, how structurally you can modify the title of your paper, that I will throw the light on that. Then how to write an introductory part or the introductory statement of your article, understand the difference between the plagiarism and acceptable plagiarism, what are the concepts behind this plagiarism and acceptable plagiarism, and learn how to use parenthetical notation and effective bibliography and proper formatting of a paper. So entire presentation will be focused on these points. As we know, research, if you split out this term as Shakespeare says, what is in a sentence, or if you in a science field, if you have to split the term so that you will get the idea behind that. So in this case, the research, it is a French word, if you see, basically it is a French word searcher, that means to seek or search. And if you prefix RE, then it becomes a research. In a clear manner, research is an intensive search with a purpose of becoming certain. So, if you have a particular idea and if you have an intensive search regarding your idea, and then if you will come out with a particular point or certain point, then it is called as a research. Research is a systematic investigation into reality to gain in-depth knowledge of your idea or the title. So whatever you are focusing in your research article, the research article should follow all the criteria. That means it will give an in-depth knowledge of your article. Now, if nowadays it is compulsory to publish the articles, if you are a PhD scholar, if you are going to submit your thesis, then university authorities will ask you to have at least two papers in your credit. Uh, those are related to your PhD work. So the question comes, why to write? What is the necessity to write? Writing, as I said, it is a skill. And if you love to communicate with the people, writing is an effective way to communicate with the community. Nowadays, writing of research articles is useful for promotion or a career growth of an individual, either if you are in an academic field or if you are in a scientific institute. So, promotion of your individual's career growth, you must have some publications on your credit. Writing is essential to share your findings for the scientific growth, because every small idea can be a big boost for some other's mind to create or to innovate something new with sticking with your basic idea. So not a single point that is not in a science, it is not like a useful unused material like that. Because if you have some idea in your mind, someone else will come out with the innovative ideas by sticking with your basic concept. So sharing the findings for the scientific growth, for that writing is essential. Writing is also essential to share your idea. If you have any idea, if you want to make it on a that big platform, then writing is an effective way. Writing is to be a change agent. It can change because as I heard Dr. Pai's lecture, if you have an idea, it can change your possibilities, your ideas into possibilities by getting a fund by effective way of writing your proposal to the funding agency. And nowadays, writing is also essential to make yourself in the field of that community or publishing your name. In a simple word, if you see, research or a work without publication is equal to not attempted or not done. If you have data, you go for publication. In the science and technology field, it is called as if you have data, you publish or perish. So that's like that. Research or a research output without publication, it is not as attempted or is equal to not attempted. Then next question comes, what to write? If you have data, then many of you have confusion, what to write, where to start, and how to do the effective writing. So before writing any article, first you target the audience. Whether you want to communicate your things with a common public, or if you want to communicate your data with a specialized audience like the doctors, engineers, scientists, or the academicians. Categorize your things into these two main concepts. Like if you want to target the audience, then go for newspaper writing or the magazine writing or even a popular article writing. But if you have a strong data and if you want to communicate with the scientific field, then you have a specialized audience that where you actually are supposed to reach to the audience. Then communicate your research, whether it is a UGC listed journal, UGC care list journal, or a research journals like Elsevier or Science Direct. Whatever you have in your mind, if you have whatever you have in your data book, you try to communicate with the research community. Communicate a small but important finding. In science and technology, as I said, not every if you have a big concept only you go for publication and go on. If you have a small communication also, but your findings are important, then go for it for the publication. Always communicate your ideas, and even nowadays you can communicate about the published articles. If you think this concept is wrong, if you think the data is wrong, it is wrongly presented, you can challenge the papers also, and you can go for the publication house or that journal site, and you can challenge it, the data or the article, and you can communicate about the published article. Even you can publish your article in the presence of a book also. So book or book chapter also you can present or communicate your article. Then what kind of articles we can communicate with the society or with the scientific audience or the common audience, common public? The articles can be a popular article, as I said, it can be a brief note, it can be a news in a news column of the newspaper, it may be local or national newspaper. You can go for the research article. The articles may be a short note or short communication, like it stick with a particular idea, uh, called as a short communication. Articles can be a correspondence. Articles can be a technical report of a survey report also. It can be a article. Even you can publish a case study or case report as a part of article. You can publish a review article and you can publish an editorial article. So articles are of different types. But my today's lecture is based on the research article, effective research article. But we should know what kinds of article we can attempt to be published in different aspects. As I said, if you are interested in popular articles, like you are interested to publish your articles in a magazine or in a news paper, then it has a two parts. Either it is a mass dissemination or it is a particular target audience. So popular articles, if it is a mass dissemination, it must be simple and usage style because we are targeting as a common public, we are targeting as a common person. And in this case, in popular articles, there is no particular structure to frame out your idea. But if you are targeting the particular audience in a popular article also, you must use some of the technical words. So the using of technical words will reflect the knowledge of your subject area because we are focusing a certain part of a public, not an entire community. We are focusing a small part of public. So the technical words, those are interested in technical words, they can add of that idea and they can easily understand what you want to communicate with them. In this case, the structure is little flexible. So if you go for popular articles, there is, as we said, it is a synthesized finding to make a layman understandable paper. So anyone, those who are going through your article, can easily understand the concept of your idea. But in a scientific field, if you are going for the research articles, and these research articles are of two types. First one is the original research article, and second is the short communication or short note. The original research articles are the result of a well-planned and organized and the original work. It emphasizes all the aspects and it has a particular structure. But if you have a short communication or short note, the findings of the short communications are only some parameters, and short communications are always used for rapid communication of your article, where you can communicate an important finding or the result. And if you have a scientific article or the research article, we have a fixed structure, and this fixed structure follows the abstract, introduction, material and method, result, discussion, and references. This flowchart gives you an idea how a process of publication is carried out. In a field of your PhD work or even your academics, if you have a data and a completion of research, then go for the preparation of manuscript. So preparation of manuscript is the first part. Then once you have done with the preparation of manuscript, then the second part is the submission of this manuscript. Find a suitable journal and submit the manuscript as per the prescribed format of that journal. Then it will go to the technical editor. Technical editor will evaluate your research article and then the next step he will assign to the reviewer. If he found suitable, your manuscript is suitable to the journal, the aim and objective of the journal, then and then only he will assign to the reviewer. Otherwise, straightforward, he will reject your paper. If in the next step, if you are fortunate to convince your ideas with the technical editor will forward it to the reviewer, and reviewer will take a decision. So it is a blind review process where your manuscript or the research article will send to two or three persons of the same field, and then they will evaluate your article and they will take a call whether it will be accepted or rejected. If it is accepted, then he will decide whether it can be accepted as as it is presented or it requires some minor or major revision. So when it comes to the revision, editor or the reviewer will ask you some changes, minor changes, or some doubts that he created in his mind, and then he will ask you to clarify the things. Once you clarify the things with the reviewer, then it will go for the resubmission. The resubmission will again reevaluate and then it will make a decision. a call for the acceptance, and then your article will be published. So this is the flow chart of the process of publication. But while doing all the things, there is a definite structure that we have to follow, must be followed while preparation of the manuscript. These structures, as I said, that I will discuss in depth all the things, but these are the main points that I have used: that the title, author and affiliation, abstract, introduction, literature, methodology, research, discussion, conclusion, references, and appendices. So these are the structures that normally used for the scientific communication or scientific article writing. We'll see one by one in detail. The first thing is the title. When you are presenting your work to communicate with any of the journals, there are certain rules or we should follow some tricks to most effective and how to present your data so that it can be easily accepted by the journal authority. So if it comes to the title, your title must be limited to 8 to 15 words. That means it must be catchy. Don't give the big title explaining all the things that are presented in your article. Pick some of the important words and that will reflect what is inside in your paper. So you must limit your title in 8 to 15 words. Your title must be relevant to the subject. So entire manuscript, what you have in your entire manuscript, your title must be stick to the that particular subject, and title must be in a single phrase. Which some of my publication I will explain in next slide. So how it should be, but basically, title must be in a single phrase, and it must be with correct grammar and proper capitalization. So because some journal will ask you so the entire title in a sentence case, some will ask in a capital case. So depending upon the guideline or the author journal's guideline, we have to prepare our manuscript. So basic things that we must follow, that 8 to 15 words of title must be relevant to the subject. It must be a single phrase and with correct grammar. This is one of my papers that I have shown in this slide. Uh, the title is of 11 words. The title is Non-Digestible Oligosaccharides of Green Coffee Spent and Their Prebiotic Efficiency. So this a small title with 11 words, and it will show what is inside in the paper. So the paper contains some of the characteristics of the green coffee spent, the non-digestible oligosaccharides, and their prebiotic efficiency. So any technical reviewer or the technical editor or reviewer, if he will see the title, he will understand that what actually author wants to communicate with the journal. Second title, second paper that I have shown you, that is prebiotic oligosaccharide enriched green coffee spent cookies and their nutritional, physicochemical, and sensory properties. So in second paper, it will reflect that some of the products have been developed and the author has studied their property. So both the titles, one is of 11 words and another one is of 14 words. So the short title, if you want to express your title as like study of non-digestible oligosaccharides extracted from green coffee and further their prebiotic efficiencies potential, it will be huge, and it's what you have to communicate. Stick with the small title so that journal editors will accept your paper. That is of Elsewhere journal that I have shown the two titles. The two titles I have shown of Tyler and Francis group, another one big goal of this scientific community publication. One paper is microencapsulation of antioxidant phenolic compounds from green coffee. It is small and sweet title that what author wants to communicate it reflects on that title. That author has done some microencapsulation of antioxidant phenolic compound from green coffee, and the entire paper is based on that the study. Second paper, as I said, it is with two phases. That first shows the green coffee nanoparticle, and second shows that optimization, its bioavailability and biorelease property. So the editors can judge that in the second article that author has developed some green coffee nanoparticles, and further they have optimized and studied their some medicinal value. So your title must be catchy and it is in short form so that editors can easily accept your manuscript. The second part, as I said, that authors and affiliation. As we know in our API counting, the first author will get a credit of 70%. So if you have multi-authors, the first author will get 70% of credit. And you have to use a superscript if you have a multi-author in your paper and the authors are from different departments or different colleges or the universities, then we have to use a superscript of alphabet so that each and every alphabet will clear the affiliation of that author. Those who is a corresponding author of the manuscript, we have to give a star mark so that any communication will be made with that the person which is having a star mark so that it is a corresponding author and the corresponding author will get all the credit and all the things that communication can be done with the journal agency with the communicator or the corresponding author. While structuring the research paper, we have some sections like abstract, which introduce to the reader, which enlightens the aim, study, and methodology with little results and findings. Introduction is the overall purpose, and in the introduction, you must define the research question and you should give a brief background of the relevant theory and practice of your topic. Sometimes some journals will ask you the review literature, or in introduction part also you can write some review literature where you can summarize that conclusions have been reached to the research literature and to highlight main issue and controversies around the problem. So literature review, you have to focus on the both aspects, both the sides, the main issues and controversies of the problem that you have chosen for your research article. In the methodology, we have to give all the research methods, the data collection and analysis. The result findings are focused in the result section, the findings of your research and discussion, whether you can discuss your entire data with your all the results, or you can compare with the previous data or the previous authors who have published in the same field. So this is the discussion part. And in the conclusion, you have to sum up your findings and highlight the significance of the outcomes of your study so that if further research are needed, so anyone can go ahead with your basic idea. So in conclusion, you can write. So one of my paper, I will show you how to do the conclusion part. References, as per the guideline of the journal, we have to arrange the references maybe as a list of alphabetically. There are certain MLA format, APA format. So as per the demand of journal, we have to arrange our references or the bibliography in the last part. And in appendices, some of the journals will ask you for the graphical representation of the your research article, so or the highlights of your article, so that we have to give the details. The next part is how to write. If you have a data and if you want to communicate the data with the journal agency or the scientific community, then how to write, that the main question. Step by step, I will introduce how the effective article writing. If you are writing an abstract, then abstract, as we know, it is a summary of a body of the information. It expresses the main claim and argument of the paper. So what should be in your abstract and what should not be in your abstract? So in your abstract, you must have why did you do this study or project, that you have to clarify in your abstract. Your abstract must contain what did you do and how you did that. What did you find and what do your findings mean? These all four questions should be included in the abstract so that if a layman person will read out your abstract only, he will get an idea that your entire paper is based on this structure. Do not use any table, figure, or chart in your abstract. Do not include any reference in your abstract and always stick with the elaborated terms. Do not use abbreviations. If it is repeating, then first when the words are coming, then only in bracket you give the abbreviation, and later you can use the abbreviation. But strict with this, do not use any abbreviation in the abstract. This is my paper that I have shown you in the title. So in abstract here, I have given the 5 points that I discussed in last slide. The first 3 lines, it will give the introduction and importance of the article. The second part shows the method what is used in the entire study. In the third part, it is small result on what you are find in your manuscript. The fourth part is the implication of your research, that is whether your research will be useful further in further studies. And the fifth one are the keywords. Keywords are also it must be relevant to your research article. As per the demand of the journal, your abstract, they may stick with some of the limited work. They may ask you to write in 150 words. They may ask you to write 200 words or within 250 words. So in that particular structure, we have to fit the data so that we should not go beyond the limitations given by the journal agency. So that we have to follow. Introduction part is a brief description of the topic and statement of why the topic is worth researching. That means if you have idea and in the introduction, if anyone has not done the previous work and you are the pioneer of the work, that you can elaborate in your introduction that this work is the first report and all the things, so that you can focus on such aspects. Uh, in the introduction part, a statement of the research objective, you must include what is the objective of this article. And further, you have to mention the scope of the study, because anyone can elaborate your work. If you want to elaborate, you can elaborate on particular line, so that the scope of study should be included. And introduction must be overview of the rest of the paper. So this is as a case study I have given that one of the paper. In the introduction part, first part is all about coffee, why coffee is important, what are the important parameters found in a coffee. In the second part, what is the encapsulation technique, how it is used in encapsulation. And in the last part, I have given the present study aim, that is the aim and objective. The present study aim in the preparation of the what we have actually aimed to focus the research article. So that all the things you must include in your introduction. So it is as like review the concept of your research article and the objective of your research article. Literature review, nowadays it is not mandatory to write a literature review, but you can write a literature review, like the present state of the knowledge, whether the concept, as Dr. Pai has rightly said, uh, you have plagiarized the data, or if that entire article which is your own, that will reflect in your literature review. And literature review is how are the studies related to the one being proposed. So your study, your concept is new, your innovation is new. If you have not done with any previous work, it has not carried out on the aspect, what are the things you have surveyed or reviewed that we have to mention so that it will be a complete manuscript. The methodologies to demonstrate that you are aware of the research methods that are used, new and innovative methods that you have opted and used in your scientific work, and that all are justified the research method that you have used the recent method, not of the 60s, 1960s or 1917-year old method. So whatever methods that you have used in your research article that are new, that research citations are new, then the methodology of paper, there are more chances to accept your paper in the journal. Here I have given some of the materials and method or methodology how to write. If you're writing, then you must give some points also and stick with the small content of the method. Do not elaborate the method because it will be like that. More than your research findings, your methodology will be issued. So don't do that such things. You just mention the methodology, you mention the what are the instruments that you use, and you stick with the small part of methodology. If you have modified the methodology, then mention what the modification you have carried out in the previous. So like that, methodology should be a brief and effective. Result and discussion is the main part of your manuscript, and it is a sum up of your findings and the significance of the outcome. So results and discussion to outline any implications or the recommendation that indicated by the finding. So if you have data that are expressed in a particular way, but if you find that this can be elaborated by further studies, and if you have mentioned that, like that, I have in one of my paper I have given that the coffee, whatever the residue is left over after drinking of coffee decoction, this coffee residue can be utilized for the preparation of the biscuit. So that anyone, those who are interested in the startup agencies, those who are interested in the uh, small scale industries, he can collect this information and he can go for the collection of the coffee residues and further use of this coffee residues into bakery products. So that such indications, if you have given in your result and discussion, those who are referring your article, he will get an idea and he can start his own concept to carry out your further work. This is an effective way of presenting your data. Mm, if you have a data, do all in tabular format. Use some figures also, illustrations, so that using statistical ways like standard deviation, or if you have any software, you can use the statistical methods also, so that uh, data will be concise and it will, if anyone can go with the table, he can understood the what are the things that you have find out in your article, or if you go with the figures also, you will understand what are the things that you want to express in your figure. So, result and discussion, both don't give only tables or don't give only figures. You just balance the things with using tables and the figures. In the conclusion part of your article, present findings of your research in an orderly manner. That conclusion must be stick with the result, what you have got in your article, in your findings, what are the results your conclusion must be with the in accordance with the result. And in case of discussion, the discussion part shows your understanding of what your data suggests. As I said, if you want to discuss your own data, you can compare your own findings with the tables and graphs as if it is new findings. If some previous work has been carried out, you can compare the data with the previous work and you can compare how effective methods that you have used and how effective the results that you have got with employing the other methods. So in the discussion part, stick with the findings and compare with the data which are present in your manuscript. So this is another part that I have given in conclusion. In 7 to 8 lines, you work in the paper. You want to conclude. That conclude you must be there, and you must follow the things. That conclusion is with or in accordance with the reader. The last part of the manuscript structuring is the references or bibliography. Bibliography is a list alphabetically. Some journals will ask you to write the author's name in the body, that means in the introduction or in your result and discussion part. Some journals will ask you to write the numerical things like one, two numbers in superscript order. So as per the journal's guidelines, we must follow the thing. But when it comes to the listing, then you can list with alphabetical if you are given with the detailed name of the author in the body. If you're given with the number, then we have to follow the sequence serially with the number. So references needs to contain all the words that are cited in the text, and it should consistently follow the organizable system. Uh, there are three systems that I have given as an example. One system we call as Wonker's reference style. In Wonker's reference style, you can see here in the citation in the body, uh, for example, Sauza 1. This one is a superscript or it can be put into the square bracket. So that means this system is called as Wonker's reference type, where in the text of the manuscript, the references are given by the number in numerical form. And when it comes to the referencing style in the last part, that is in bibliography, the writing of the references style is different. Here you can see the author's name is first and the year of publication is last. So this is the way of writing of Wonker reference style. Another word is second one is Harvard reference style. In Harvard reference style, we can use a complete author name in your manuscript, and when it comes to the bibliography, then the author name is followed by the publication of the article. So the article publication here is after the author name. So this is called as Harvard reference style. For example, in this I have given one example here in the introduction part. I have given the reference of Desai et al. In 2019, and here I have elaborated this. So this system is called as APS system. That American. Next slide, I will explain that three system. Here you can find that all the author's names are followed by the year of publication, but the year of publication is put in the bracket. So this is another way of presenting your data, presenting your citation. The last part, this is not mandatory. Some journals will ask, but this is not an actual body part of a journal. This is the appendices where if you have a relevant document that reports or the policies or historical documents that you can submit as appendices to the journal. The next part is now we have done with the writing of manuscript. The next question is where and how to we begin for the publication. So this slides uh, writing before writing what we can do. We can uh, overview the things, gathering of the material, check out the whether it is published or not, then take a note where some data is repeated or not. That has been. The important part of this nowadays it is a plagiarism. As in a scientific field, be original and don't plagiarize the data. Nowadays, there are softwares are generated by the journal agencies so that they can fit your manuscript in their software and they will find out whether it is plagiarized data or not. So plagiarism is passing off someone else's work as your own, whether we do this deliberately or not. That doesn't mean whether you have did this deliberately or by mistake. We can't argue with the journal. They found if it is plagiarized, they will reject the manuscript. Even nowadays, plagiarized data is also in the form of tables and figures also considered as plagiarized data. Even uh, Lucknow, in a couple of years back, 36 scientists have debarred from their services by using because they use the plagiarized figure. So it is not only plagiarism is not only with the sentences. Nowadays, the figures and graphs can also be checked for the plagiarism. Plagiarism nowadays it is also paraphrasing is there. So plagiarism is the act of presenting another work or idea as your own, and it can be punishable also. So as like I have just stolen others' work and presenting as my own, this is called as plagiarism. So what is the difference between the plagiarism and paraphrasing? That I have given one sentence, one quote to justify what is a plagiarized data and what is a paraphrasing. Uh, Here, one statement he wants to convey that the Japan's beautiful Mount Fuji last erupted in 1707 and is now classified as a dormant. Dormant volcanoes show no signs of activity, but they may erupt in the future. So he wants to tell that in 1707 that last time the in Japan the volcano was erupted and there are chances to erupt in future. This is the original statement. The same content, if you want to communicate with the people without giving as such, that's called as plagiarized data, we can modify is like that. Mount Fuji, the highest mountain in Japan, is actually a dormant volcano. Dormant means that it is not active. And the last time Mount Fuji erupted was in 1707, and there is always the possibility of a future eruption. So the concept or the content is same, but it is modified in a non-plagiarized data. That we should follow. That's why I said the writing of effective research articles is a skill, and this reflects you in plagiarized or non-plagiarized data. So these are some of the examples that I have given in plagiarized. I will share the slides with the audience. And while writing, we must use a consistent format. This consistent format helps you, reader, to understand your argument. It allows the reader to cross-reference. It provides the consistency and it gives the credibility and reliability as a writer. So this is all that we should follow the theme. The formatting of research articles are of three types. One is MLA format, it is Modern Language Association format. Second one is APA format, it is called as American Psychological Association format. And third one is ACM format, that is Association for Computer and Machinery. So this is the format can be as per the faculty, like if you are social science background or humanities background, you have to follow different formats. If you are from medical and science field, then you have to follow the different. If you are from computer background, then ACM format is there for computer machinery. So this format, as per the guidelines, we have to modify our manuscript so that journal will find whether the manuscript prepared is with the author's guideline or not. So these are the details. What is the basic difference between MLA guidelines and APA guidelines? Uh, we are running short. I have 5 minutes. The last part that I will discuss that how now we have finished the things with the preparation of the manuscript, and now take a break because we want to publish it. We want to find out a suitable journal where it can be mostly accepted. So once we have done with all the presentation, all the writing of your manuscript, take a small break, and next part is finding out a good journal. So why to select a good journal? That's the basic question. Searching out a good journal is for good viewership, that is accessibility of your journal, it having a good rating of NAS or with high impact factor, where you can get a more citation possibility for your article. The good journal will thorough reviewing and editing that will improve the quality and even improve your research writing article skill. And good journal will help for better recognition and promotion aspect. Then how to select a good journal? What are the criteria to select the good journals to publish your data? The good journals can be selected based on the high impact factor. A strong base of reviewers and editors. Go through the reviewers and editors panel, check the things, check out the scope and the international authorship, find out the merits, online first article, less time, the time of processing, how much it will take, then abstracting, whether where it is abstracting by major databases or not, and whether they are publishing in timely and with the quality. Now, the last part, just with request with the organizer, I require 5 minutes. I will sum up with these things. These are the three sites I have given. If you have a manuscript and if you want to publish, say for example, this is with Tyler and Francis group. So if you have data and if you want to publish with Tyler and Francis group, say for example, I have this manuscript. I have prepared this manuscript with nutrigenomics or nutrigenomics for public health, opportunities, challenges, and future perspectives. And I want to publish this data. Then what I can do, I can go with the Tyler and Francis journal in Google, where we can find this window where you can copy paste your title here, manuscript title. You can paste the abstract. So this is the abstract which I have ready with me. This abstract in the manuscript abstract I have pasted here, and here you can go for the find tab. So you will get what are the journals where your paper can be accepted. What are the relevance of the journal with your data? So by finding your abstract, if your abstract is more structured, then it will easily give you clear-cut idea where the your paper can be more accepted. So here relevance they have given the 3 lines, 2 lines, that green. That means your data is more suitable to such journals, and you can go for the journal according to the author's guidelines. You can prepare your manuscript and you can submit. So the journal finders are there, where Elsevier journal finders are there. The journal finder for Wiley International are there. Journal finder for Tyler and Francis group are there. If your manuscript rejected from Elsevier, you can go for Tyler and Francis, or you can go for Wiley International journal. So like that, we have idea, we have ready manuscript, but we don't have idea where to publish. In such cases, the journal finder will help out for this identification of possible journals where it is most suitable. So with this, uh, once again, I am very much thankful for the organizer of this FDP, nicely organized FDP. I'm very much thankful to Dr. Rajmani sir, Principal SGM College Karak, and very much thankful to the IQC coordinator and all the members of this organizing committee for giving me an opportunity to express my views and ideas related effective article writing and finding a suitable journal. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take. Thank you very much.
Dear participant, if you have any question regarding Dr. Desai sir's title, then you ask. There may not be question. I request to sir to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am here to purpose of vote of thanks for this session. I feel like this FDP program has become a source of learning for us since Monday. And fortunately, this session is not an exception for that. I am really glad we have such nice intellectual feast shared with us by Dr. Desai sir. I am grateful to Dr. Desai sir that he has accepted our invitation and spread his his valuable time as well as precious knowledge with our participant. I admire the way Dr. Desai sir interacted and presented the given topic and further clarified that the participant. My sincere thanks goes to Principal Dr. M.M. Rajmani sir, who has been a consistent source of our inspiration. I really want to admire our participants and really they are great listeners. With the, I'm also thankful organizer, program coordinator Dr. A.K. Patil sir, our Vice Principal A.C. Patil sir, Suryavanshi sir, Kamre madam, with the permission of the organizer, I declare that this session is over. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.